This is a Westinghouse generator, and a lot in this form factor have like a different serial number or model number with just slight differences. This one specifically is the iGen 4500 DFC. That's dual fuel, means it can run off of gasoline and propane. I'm going to go over just some of the basic features and then the good stuff and the bad stuff about this generator. It can put out 4,500 watts during a peak surge and then continuously 3,700 watts when it's ran off of gasoline. And like I mentioned before, this one can also run off of propane. It will lose a little bit of power when it does that. It's RV ready with this 30 amp T30R connection that's 120 volts. It also has your standard outlets like you'd see in a US home that are 20 amps. It's got two USB-A ports that are 5 volts and go up to 2.1 amps. So that's just like the basic features. Now I want to go over the good first, and then at the end I'll go over the bad with this specific generator. Now by far my favorite pro of this is that it is a super quiet generator. I believe it's about 52 decibels when it's running, and that makes this generator great for a lot of use cases. You know, common is the job site, camping with like RV, or even as a home backup system in case you lose power. And the reason why the super quiet is so nice is, you know, on a job site, the workers are going to appreciate it, and or if you're working in or around the public, you know, they don't want to hear some loud noisy generator like this guy right here. It's very convenient to have that. If you lose backup power to your house and you need to run a generator all night to keep a fridge going, your neighbors are going to appreciate a quiet one like this versus your traditional generator. And then obviously some RV parks don't even allow you to bring loud generators. You need to bring a quiet one. So obviously this meets that. Now what I really love about this form factor is I feel like it's the perfect size, that it's still manageable to where I can pick it up one person. You know, I'd recommend 2 people, 1 on each handle. But then what's really great about this guy is it's got this pull out handle here, so it's kind of like rolling around a suitcase. This is super convenient because the thing about generators is, you know, you think bigger is better, but when you start getting into some of the higher wattages big boys, it's extremely difficult to move and it's not mobile. But another great pro with this guy is you can actually connect 2 together to essentially double the power output. And the reason I think that is the best way to go is it's easier to manage 2 of these, moving them around and being mobile versus just having one. But it does have that feature where you can have a parallel connection and connect 2 together. Another really cool pro that this guy has an eco mode. So basically, you know, that example I gave before, you're running a refrigerator overnight, you don't need the full power of this thing. You can throw it into eco mode and it'll be a lot more efficient in terms of it can run longer with less gas. So it's just less times you have to fill it up or anything like that. It's just cool that it actually has that capability. And then obviously the dual fuel is a huge plus. If you're using it at your home, you run out of power, you run out of gas. If you've got like a grill with a propane tank, you can just hook it right up and have power. Another big pro of this specific generator is it actually comes with the propane regulator that you're gonna need to be able to run this thing off of propane. So I know like if you take one and do a conversion kit, or even some that are dual fuel, what you don't realize is you got to buy a separate part in order to actually use it, and it's that regulator for the propane. But it comes with one, which is just really nice because it's ready out of the box to use, and you can just start running off propane immediately. Which brings me to my next pro. It actually comes with oil to fill it up so you can get started right away. I've just purchased products in the past where you go to use it and you realize, oh, you got to put oil in it and it didn't come with oil. I need to run back to the store or something. I like that they provided that and it's just ready to go right when you get it. And by far one of the best features with this guy is it's got electric start. So you've got a button here you press and there's a battery in here that'll turn over your motor and get it started. It does have a backup, so you've got the traditional pull string in case for some reason the battery is dead. It actually comes with this power brick that you can just plug in this barrel jack right here, and then you can just leave this plugged in. So if you're using it for something like home backup, you can be assured that when you need to turn this thing on, you can use the press to start button and have that convenience. There's a lot of other generators that don't have that, and basically, you know, the battery is going to die over time if it just sits there as a home backup power. So when you go to use it, you're going to be using the traditional pull string, which is just not as convenient. Now, if that wasn't enough, what's really awesome is they provide this remote to start. So you can actually, this is great for like RV camping and stuff. You don't even have to go to the generator. You can just boop, press a button, and it will start up and start generating power because it has that electric start with the remote. Super awesome feature. And this model does have the CO2 sensor, which is just great because if you were to accidentally run it in a place like a garage and it were to become unsafe with the levels of CO2 from the exhaust putting out, it's going to turn itself off and keep you nice and safe. Now, one other thing that I think I can speak to that others may not is this is, in my opinion, a very durable generator. You can see it's pretty dirty. It's been at a job site, kind of beat up. I mean, we ran this thing for over 2 weeks in the hot sun, literally 8 hours a day, and this thing stood up like a champ, put out the power. It did and acted exactly as we had wished and wanted. So I can say from just using it, and that's how it was used on a job site running power equipment, this thing stood up like a champ and we had no issues with it. So I definitely think I can confidently say that it's durable and works really well, at least in that situation. So now that I've covered all of the good stuff, and yeah, there was a lot, obviously you can tell I'm a big fan of this generator and would highly recommend it. Of course, there are some bad things. So one negative is a lot of generators like this come with a cigarette lighter power supply. So I know a lot of equipment for like boating and RV camping, you know, you're gonna pump up an air mattress and the pump you have runs off of a cigarette lighter. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't have that. Obviously, you could buy a dongle or something to fix it, but it's just something that this guy doesn't have that a lot of other generators in this category do have. Another bad thing is filling this up with oil, and where the oil is, it's a little inconvenient. Eventually, you're gonna wanna do an oil change on this, and to drain the oil and refill it, it's not as convenient as some others. It's just gonna be more of a hassle and a pain due to the location of where you put the oil in and where you drain it out from. And then the last con I'll say about this guy is it doesn't have a choke, which makes starting it after it's been sat for a long time a little bit difficult. Obviously, if you have the push to start, that's great because you don't have to sit there and pull it a bunch. But you'll even hear when you start it with the battery, if it's been sitting for like 6 months, it takes a few times for it to start it up. And I believe that's because there is no choke. And it just makes, if you're pull starting it, a little bit inconvenient. I think there might be a choke inside if you want to open it up, but it's not a part of the user manual or meant to be used. And I think that's definitely a con. I could see some people argue, you know, the simpler the better so that people don't have to like worry about that and whatnot. But I think, you know, if it had a choke, it'd be a lot easier to start if it's been sitting for a while. But that's literally the only 3 bad things I could really think or say about it. So I hope this video helped you understand more about this generator and gave you the information that you were looking for in order to decide if this is correct for you in your application.